Everyone's taking the same Instagram shots. Crowded beaches, famous landmarks, but one person isn't. Why? They hit the road solo, chasing experiences instead of likes. They thrive in uncertainty. They feel excitement where most feel stress. Their brains might be wired to seek novelty in ways most people don't. By the end of this video, you'll discover what drives these lone travelers and the science behind why traveling alone could actually make you happier than you think. Now, if you're not the type to travel solo, don't sweat it. You're not boring or lacking passion. Around 80% of people prefer group trips or familiar routines, and their brains process novelty and risk differently. So why do some people crave solo adventures even when it seems riskier and less fun? Some thrive in empty airports, quiet hostels, or wandering unplanned streets. Their brains are wired differently, with heightened reward sensitivity. Subtle genetic factors might play a role too. Their minds might even find what most of us fear to be exciting, a rush that keeps them coming back for more. This also reveals a surprising brain trait that most travelers never notice. Humans have always been social creatures, wired to survive in groups, but solo travelers break the mold. Evolution didn't prepare most of us to seek adventure alone, yet some brains release a thrill response to novelty and uncertainty, triggering chemicals like dopamine and oxytocin that most people rarely feel outside extreme experiences. While most of us feel stress in the unknown, solo travelers feel excitement, curiosity, and a sense of mastery. It's like their brains are built to turn risk into reward. Adventure can be thrilling and deeply satisfying, and their minds actually crave what scares most of us, something that shapes how they experience the world in ways most travelers never notice. Most people have a strong tribal instinct. They form tight social groups, follow trends, and measure themselves against others. Solo adventurers, they show lower groupthink tendencies. A 2019 study even suggested reduced us versus them thinking, favoring personal experiences over social validation. This isn't better or worse, it's just a different wiring. These travelers prioritize self-discovery, curiosity, and novelty, choosing empty beaches, unplanned streets, or spontaneous detours over following the crowd, and feeling truly alive while doing it. This independence primes their brains for the thrill and reward cycles we'll explore next. It's something that makes risk feel exhilarating rather than stressful, and may even explain why solo travelers chase adventures most avoid. For solo travelers, adventure isn't just fun, it's addictive. Their brains release bursts of dopamine, especially when uncertainty peaks, like navigating unknown streets or trying something new alone. It's the same anticipation rush you get opening a surprise gift or hitting a slot machine jackpot. fMRI studies show that this intermittent reward keeps them seeking the next thrill, turning risk into excitement rather than stress. For solo travelers, uncertainty is a playground for the brain, and this dopamine-fueled feedback loop makes adventure irresistible and deeply satisfying, and hints at genetic wiring that explains why they chase challenges others avoid. Some brains are just wired differently. Studies from the University of Chicago show solo travelers' dopamine systems are less triggered by social validation. They don't get the same thrill from following the crowd. Instead, they experience Berging in reverse, basking in personal wins over team or trend victories. This stable self-concept lets them explore freely, take risks, and savor achievements on their own terms. Genetics and brain wiring make solo travel uniquely rewarding, and this wiring may even shape choices most people wouldn't dare, curious and unbothered by social pressure. Here's the twist. One way of experiencing the world isn't better than the other, it's just different. Solo travelers often score higher on certain empathy measures, but they allocate it differently, focusing on real direct connections, like chatting with a local over coffee, rather than parasocial cues or trends. This neutral stance lets them fully experience people, places, and moments without social pressure clouding judgment. Their brains are wired for independent engagement, yet can still tune into others deeply, traits that shape how they experience risk, reward, and adventure in ways most people never notice. Solo travelers don't just ignore social trends, they channel energy into personal growth. Many dive into art, writing, music, or self-directed projects, like composing at a hostel piano or sketching an unknown street corner. A 2021 study found they score higher on openness, curiosity, and creative engagement. Their thrill isn't just travel, it's mastering skills, savoring creativity, and fully inhabiting life. While obsessors chase validation, solo adventurers find flow in direct experiences, crafting moments that feed their brain's craving for novelty, mastery, and personal satisfaction, sometimes as a shield from social pressure and a reason they seek experiences most avoid. Sometimes not caring about group trends isn't just preference, it's protection. Solo travelers may have faced exclusion, criticism, or social pressure, and their independence acts as a shield. This defense mechanism is adaptive, letting them embrace uncertainty, take risks, and trust their own judgment. Their brains learn to seek thrill and reward internally rather than externally. Understanding this makes their mindset fascinating. What looks like carefree adventure is often a deeply calibrated strategy for emotional safety, resilience, and personal growth, like seeking thrills others avoid or choosing solitude when social pressure mounts. Solo travelers and group travelers experience the same moments in very different ways. Obsessors find meaning in following trends, snapping selfies, or tracking social approval. Solo adventurers, on the other hand, savor open-ended, unpredictable, and deeply personal experiences, lingering on quiet streets, noticing smells, sounds, and people. Neither mindset is wrong. Both satisfy our need for narrative and significance. This divide explains why obsessors can't feel the calm thrill of solo travel, while solo travelers sometimes find group-focused adventures shallow, and reveals how brain wiring and personal values shape the meaning we extract from every journey. Solo travelers invest in real, reciprocal experiences, connecting directly with people, places, and challenges. Obsessors often engage one-sidedly, following influencers, trends, or social approval online. Neither approach is superior, they're just different strategies for satisfying the brain's craving for reward and connection. This contrast helps explain why solo adventurers feel fully alive in the moment, while obsessors may feel a rush from distant achievements. Understanding this difference shows how attention, effort, and emotional investment shape the quality of experiences, and why presence, direct engagement, can feel far more fulfilling than passive observation. Here's the thing: solo travelers don't just roam, they observe. While most people skim experiences for validation or comparison, solo adventurers notice details others miss. Their brains are wired to seek novelty, pattern recognition, and subtle cues in their environment. A fleeting smile from a local, the sound of an empty alley, or the texture of a new city street, these moments light up their reward circuits. This attention to detail, curiosity, and deep engagement turns every journey into a rich, personal adventure, showing how independent travel sharpens perception and creates memories that observers might never fully experience. Solo travelers often embrace unpredictability. While most people crave structure and social approval, they seek novelty, uncertainty, and spontaneous choices. Their brains release reward chemicals when navigating the unknown. Risk becomes excitement rather than stress. Hopping on an unplanned train, exploring a hidden alley while feeling the cobblestones underfoot, or deciding where to eat without consulting anyone, each choice strengthens curiosity, confidence, and self-reliance. These unpredictable decisions aren't just fun, they rewire the brain for adventure, resilience, and personal growth, creating thrills most travelers never notice while sticking safely to the familiar. Solo travelers often see risk differently. What scares most people excites them. Their brains interpret uncertainty as opportunity, releasing dopamine and triggering thrill responses. While group travelers avoid unfamiliar streets or new experiences, solo adventurers dive in, exploring hidden alleys, tasting unknown foods, or wandering off-the-map paths. This approach sharpens intuition, boosts confidence, and strengthens problem-solving skills. Every calculated risk becomes a lesson, and every small success reinforces their independence. Over time, their brains crave novelty and self-directed adventure, turning uncertainty into a playground that most travelers never learn to enjoy.